random side note, I've been watching Romesh's, I think it's like a 4-part series on Now TV. And it's the first one is him live at the O2. There was a comment that he made about whatever it was. It was something on the lines of, like, it's great if you're in a job that you love because you'll work hard naturally. But if you're in a job that you don't love, you work hard to not work hard. Oh, it really resonated with me. I need to look that up. But anyway, it was along the lines of being quite apt from what happened in the week, because there was something that landed very, very late. Thankfully, I'd done some work on this about a month ago. So I already had something at least on paper that they could work with. And they were like, I need this and I need it by the end of the day. And I think this came in at about 2:30. Bearing in mind, my days are pretty packed with meetings. So I was like, well, if you want a meeting to discuss it, I've got a couple of slots. I'm not going to give the details because that would be unfair. It's no fault of me. So I was like, do you know what? I've pulled this together. This is what you can have. You can take and shape it whatever way you want. Not my problem. Old Cat would have probably worked late, gone over and above what was required, and then thought about nothing else for the rest of the evening and had a sleepless night. Thursday came to the end of the day. I had done everything that I needed to do for that day. I finished work and I didn't think about it, and came in the next day. Turns out the deadline wasn't on the Thursday. The deadline was actually Friday. So I was like, do you know what, Woody? Pat on the back, because Old Cat would have reacted to that situation very differently and basically wrecked my life for 12 hours. And I didn't on this occasion. And the upshot of it was that what I'd done and what I'd prepped a month beforehand was actually adequate. I was like, tick in the box. That is, like, to me, that's progress. Long-winded story without proper context is probably meaningless to most people, but these are little vlogs for me to remind myself about the little baby steps and the evidence to support that. And I think the way I dealt with that situation in the week was just like, yeah, didn't go over and above because I'd already done what I needed to do, and there was enough of a steer to support someone. But again, that's probably no fault of theirs, because you never know what's happening on the other side of the fence, and that I always appreciate at work. And it winds me up how everyone puts pressure on everyone else when you don't have a true understanding of what anyone else is actually working on, unless you're sat beside them 24/7, which is not going to happen. And that's one of the things that I definitely try and instill in people that I mentor at work, is that your priorities are not necessarily someone else's priorities, particularly where we work with various departments. Our department's priorities are not somebody else's. We all have our individual pecking orders amongst each other in our team, in amongst our area of the business, even within our company, and more so when we work with clients as well. When you deal with clients, you're not the be all and end all. They have got a multitude of other priorities and many more plates that they are spinning than just us. We are not their priority. And I think as you develop and grow at work and with experience, you start to appreciate that more. And then that's when everything then starts to fit into place, and you then start to learn to prepare and prep in advance more, because unless you're giving people advanced warning of when things are coming, you can't expect people to suddenly jump because you need something at that moment. You need to always be prepping and thinking in advance. And I think that skill takes time, and that comes with experience, and more often than not you learn through error. But I think that's why, yes, my job isn't the most exciting. it isn't a job that I jump out of bed and do and go, yay, I'm going to be, but it plays on my strengths. It plays on the fact that I like organising and I like things as I think they should be. I just like structure. And if there are structure and organisation and processes that work and proven that they work, then things are pretty seamless, and it's much easier to handle situations when obstacles get thrown in the way, because again, the way my brain works is I'm kind of like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. I'm at work, work just in general, I am more of a pessimist than an optimist, so I'm always thinking worst case scenarios. Whenever something occurs or someone says anything, I'm looking out for red flags and what is going to be an obstacle that's going to delay things. I think that is one of the things that works well in my favour. But again, as I've said in previous videos, that can be detrimental to me outside of work, because it is that level of perfectionism. And I've worked with many people over the years, and those people know how I work. They know how I like to work. I think I have got this, I don't know what it is. It's not a ruthlessness, but I have a reputation, let's put it that way. And I think people maybe are scared, is probably the wrong word. I'm very particular, and people appreciate that when they are in a team that I work with, because they know that I will be over as much as I physically can. But I am learning that I still don't need to take that pressure on myself. And that's why you have a team. So my job isn't to understand the technicalities of what's going on. I just need to understand what tasks needs to be done, how much time it's going to take, what dependencies there are, the risks that are around that, and is it achievable within the timeframes that we've got. Very, very basic fundamentals. And if things are organised and structured and planned, and people are giving me the information that I need, then I can help pull all that together and make sure that we achieve the things we need to achieve. Straightforward task. But when you add characters and personalities and other elements into that mix, that's when it gets challenging, and that's where I'm learning to kind of step back and go, I can only control so much. And that's something that, again, comes with experience. I'm getting better at it, but yeah, I'm proper rambling now. Will I put all of this in? Who the feck knows? That was a 2-week update, and then a bit of a mentory work, how I work mentality update as well. But as always, as I always tell myself, keep strong, keep smiling. See you on the next one.